My father's voice still haunts me. Pathetic kid, you'll never make it. Those words, spat with venom, burned into my soul at 17. 3 years later, at 23, I stood on Wall Street, signing a $14 million deal, and drove a red Ferrari Roma into our family's Memorial Day barbecue in Charleston, South Carolina. The engine's roar silenced the backyard. Heads turned, but Dad's eyes, cold, dismissive, cut deeper than any insult he'd ever hurled. I'm William Hayes, a dropout who traded college for a dream, surviving on ramen in a dingy Charleston apartment, coding an algorithm that predicts market trends better than Wall Street's giants. Every night, while friends partied, I wrestled with code, fueled by rejection emails from venture capitalists. Too young, no experience. Each one stung, but Dad's disdain hurt more. His muttered, "Kids playing with computers," as he passed my room drove me to work harder, to prove him wrong. And I did a deal that made headlines. I drove home, heart pounding, imagining his pride, maybe a handshake. Instead, he smirked, whispering to guests I borrowed the car to show off. His words weren't doubt. They were betrayal, a deliberate attempt to erase what I'd built. Inside, I didn't rage. I felt a hollow ache, like a child realizing his hero doesn't believe in him. I'd spent years chasing Dad's approval, each line of code a silent plea for him to see me. Now, standing in that backyard, keys burning in my hand, I wondered, was I still that pathetic kid to him? The Ferrari, the deal, the headlines, none of it mattered if the man who shaped me refused to look. Yet, a spark flickered in my chest, not anger, but clarity. I wouldn't let him define me anymore. Why does the person you die to impress become the one who breaks you first? 2. Character introduction plus context, 2,000 words. I'm William Hayes, 23, a lanky coder with bloodshot eyes from endless nights hunched over a laptop in a cramped Charleston apartment. The air here smells of burnt coffee and regret. My only companions the hum of a dying fan and the clack of keys. I'm the founder of a fintech startup, creator of an algorithm that predicts market trends with eerie precision, catching the eye of Wall Street's elite. But beneath the headlines, I'm a kid desperate for a nod from a father who sees my work as a childish game. Growing up in a Charleston suburb, I was the quiet son of Robert Hayes, 55, a bear of a man with hands like sandpaper and a landscaping empire built from a single truck. His office wall boasts a photo of him at 20, grinning beside that truck, a shrine to his belief that real success means sweat and dirt. My mom, Margaret, 52, is a gentle elementary school teacher, her soft voice a balm against Dad's gruffness. She'd slip me extra dinner when I worked late, but never challenged him. My cousin Lucas, 22, is the only relative who'd ask about my coding, his curiosity a rare warmth. Daniel Foster, my college roommate, is my rock, bringing me sandwiches when I'd forget to eat, his faith in me unwavering. Summers from age 12, I toiled for Dad's company, mowing lawns, hauling mulch, my skin blistering under the Carolina sun. "Work hard and you'll be a man," he'd say, but his pride never extended to me. I was too scrawny, too bookish. In my head, I'd replay his lessons, trying to mold myself into his image, but every grunt of disapproval chipped away at my confidence. When I got into the University of South Carolina's business program, I thought he'd beam. Instead, he handed me $20, muttering, "College kids think they're smarter than the world." I stood there, clutching the bill, feeling smaller than ever. Mom, though, pressed $500 into my hand, her eyes pleading, "Be happy, William." Her faith was my lifeline, but it couldn't fill the void Dad left. In college, I buried myself in finance and coding, a loner in a sea of frat boys. My inner voice was relentless. "Prove you're not pathetic." Sophomore year, a professor saw my algorithm and gasped, "This could revolutionize investing." His words lit a fire. I dropped out, pouring every waking hour into my dream. I lived off Mom's $500 and Daniel's goodwill, my apartment a mess of pizza boxes and Post-its. Venture capitalists slammed doors in my face. Too young, too risky, and each rejection echoed Dad's voice. "You'll fail." I taped their emails to my wall, not for inspiration, but as a dare to myself. Late at night, staring at my code, I'd whisper, "I'll show him. I'll show them all." But the truth gnawed at me. I wasn't just fighting for success. I was fighting for Dad's love. Every algorithm tweak, every pitch was a silent prayer for him to see me as more than a disappointment. I'd lie awake, imagining him at the barbecue, clapping my shoulder, saying, "I was wrong, son." That fantasy kept me going, even as his words, "pathetic kid," looped in my mind like a cruel mantra. I didn't know that when I finally succeeded, the deepest cut wouldn't come from strangers, but from the man I'd spent my life trying to impress. 3. The betrayal, the first slap, 2,000 words. The Memorial Day barbecue was Dad's stage. He'd invite clients, employees, and family to his Charleston backyard, showing off his landscaping trucks like trophies. I saw it as my moment. After signing a $14 million deal with Ironwood Capital, I bought a Ferrari Roma, not for vanity, but to scream what words couldn't. I made it. Driving from New York, my heart thumped. I pictured Dad's eyes widening, maybe a gruff "good job." I needed that more than the money. The Ferrari's growl shook the driveway as I parked beside Dad's battered pickup. My pulse raced, but I kept my face neutral, stepping into the backyard with keys in hand. Mom's hand flew to her mouth, tears brimming. Lucas hooped, "Will, you're insane." But Dad, at the grill, spatula frozen, stared like I'd invaded his world. "Sorry I'm late," I said, voice steady despite the storm inside. New York traffic. Dad snapped into his client-charming mode, grinning too wide. "Well, look who decided to show up." He slapped my shoulder, hard enough to sting, asserting control. "Whose car did you borrow for that entrance, son?" Laughter rippled through the guests. My chest tightened, but I didn't flinch. "It's mine," I said quietly. "Bought it yesterday." He winked at Uncle Stephen, smirking. "Right, and I'm getting a jet next week." More laughter, each chuckle a needle in my heart. I pulled the car title from my pocket, handing it to him. My inner voice screamed, "See it. See me." He scanned it, a flicker of shock in his eyes, quickly buried. He folded it, tossed it back. "Nice to have rich friends who trust you with their toys," he said, turning to the grill. "Grab a plate. Your mom's potato salad's waiting." The dismissal hit like a punch. I'd built an empire and he reduced it to a joke. Inside, I was 12 again, sweating in his yard, never good enough. All afternoon, I tried to bridge the gap. I mentioned Ironwood. He talked about lawn contracts. I explained my algorithm. He needed to check the cooler. When a client asked about the Wall Street Journal article, he cut in, "Don't believe the papers, Tom. They exaggerate." Each deflection was a brick in the wall between us. I felt myself shrinking, the confident coder replaced by the boy who'd never measure up. But I didn't snap, didn't beg. I smiled, nodded, while my mind churned. Why can't he see me? That night, in his office, I tried one last time. "Dad, we need to talk about my company." He didn't look up from his papers. "Nothing to talk about. You got lucky with a computer. Doesn't make you special." His words were a blade, but I held steady. $14 million isn't luck. He glared, eyes narrow. 40 years of breaking my back built this family. Not your keyboard. He pointed to his truck photo. That's real work. Real success. I wanted to scream. I'm your son. Why isn't my work real? But I saw it then. His clenched jaw, the fear behind his anger. My success wasn't just foreign. It threatened him. I walked out, passing Mom in the kitchen. He's proud of you, she said. I shook my head. No, Mom. He's scared. Driving to my hotel, Charleston's lights blurred. I didn't cry. A cold resolve settled in. Dad wasn't just doubting me. He was sabotaging me to protect his pride. And I wouldn't let him. 4. Uncovering the truth behind the shock. 2,500 words. Lucas's call the next morning hit like a slap. Your dad's telling everyone your deal tanked and you rented the Ferrari. My stomach churned, but I didn't yell. I opened my laptop, fingers trembling, and started digging. My mind raced. Why would he lie? What's he hiding? I needed answers, not just for me, but for the kid inside who still believed Dad could change. I called Catherine Walsh at Ironwood. Anyone from Charleston reach out? She paused. A man claiming to be your father called, asking about your contract. We didn't share anything. My breath caught. Dad wasn't just gossiping. He was probing my business, trying to unravel my success. The betrayal sank deeper, but I kept my voice calm. Thanks, Catherine. Inside, I was reeling. He's not just ashamed of me. He's trying to prove I'm a fraud. I drove to my parents' house, knowing Dad was at work. Mom's hands shook as she poured coffee. What's Dad doing, Mom? She looked away. He's worried. I leaned in, my voice low but firm. Worried enough to lie? To call my partners? Her eyes dropped. Your success. It's hard for him. It questions everything he's built. Then she hit me with it. His company's been dying for years. New chains are undercutting him. He's drowning. My mind flashed to summers in his yard. The pride in his voice when clients signed on. That empire. Crumbling? Why didn't he tell me? I asked, voice cracking. Pride, Mom said. The same pride that stops him from celebrating you. She hesitated. He told Stephen, if you succeed, people will think he failed. The words landed like a boulder. Dad wasn't just jealous. He was terrified my victory exposed his defeat. I called Daniel. Did my dad come by? He sighed. Yeah, asking about your money if you'd invest in his business. I didn't say anything. My heart sank. Dad didn't believe in me, but he'd use my money to prop up his ego. The betrayal twisted deeper, but another thought gnawed. He's desperate. Why? I met Stephen, Dad's brother and partner, at a bar. He stared into his beer. 3 years ago, Robert remortgaged the house for new trucks, new gear, to fight the big chains. It's not enough. The company's done. My mind reeled. He risked everything and didn't tell me? Why the lies about me? I asked. Stephen met my eyes. You're proof the world's moved on. He can't face that. Yesterday, he asked if you'd bail him out with your computer money. The truth hit hard. Dad's lies weren't just spite. They were a shield, a way to dismiss my success so he could cling to his fading world. I saw him in my mind, hunched over paperwork, a man running out of time. But pity didn't erase the pain. He'd chosen to tear me down rather than ask for help. My inner voice whispered, you're still not enough for him. But there was light in the dark. Lucas texted constantly, sharing articles about my deal, asking about my tech. I knew you'd make it, he wrote. I realized he wasn't just curious. He was my silent cheerleader, defying the family's doubt. He called one night. Your dad's telling clients you're in legal trouble. I don't believe it, but you gotta act. His loyalty steadied me, a reminder I wasn't alone. In my hotel, I listed every rumor, every call Dad made. My mind churned. He's not just scared. He's trying to control the narrative to make my success a fluke. But another voice, quieter, spoke. He's your dad. He's lost. Can you save him? I didn't know yet, but I knew one thing. I wouldn't let his fear destroy what I'd built. Planning the counterstrike. Silent but deadly. 3,500 words. I didn't let anger take the wheel. Rage would cloud my judgment, and I needed precision. My goal wasn't to crush Dad. That would be too easy. I wanted to save his company. Not for him, but for Mom, for the employees, for the legacy we both carried. And I wanted him to face the truth. My success was real, and he couldn't erase it. My mind buzzed with plans. Each step a brick in a fortress to protect what I'd built and redeem what he'd lost. Step 1, intelligence. I called Catherine Walsh, asking for data on Charleston's landscaping firms. Coastal Greenscape, the state's biggest, had tried to buy Langford Landscaping, but Dad stonewalled them. I emailed Harold Jenkins, their chairman, and set a meeting. We want Langford, Harold said. Robert won't budge. My mind clicked. I'll make him. I saw Dad's pride, his truck photo, and thought, this isn't just business for him. It's his identity. I have to outmaneuver him. Step 2, assemble allies. I hired Emily Chun, a mergers lawyer, who dug into Langford's books. "They're $800,000 in debt," she said. 6 months from bankruptcy. The numbers hit me hard. Dad's empire, my childhood, crumbling. I brought in Mark Rivera, a financial advisor, to map the deal's viability. My biggest move was Lucas. I offered him COO of Vertex Analytics, my new company. "I've never led anything," he stammered. I smiled. "Neither had I. But you believe in this." His loyalty was my anchor, but my mind whispered, "Can I trust anyone after Dad?" Step 3. Set the stage. Dad wouldn't sell without pressure. I leased a 15,000 square foot warehouse in Charleston's industrial district, turning it into Vertex's headquarters. I announced we'd bring jobs to Charleston, planting stories in local papers. Clients started asking Dad about his tech genius son. I wanted him to feel the weight of my success, not from me, but from his world. My inner voice battled. This feels like revenge. Is it? No, I decided. It was justice. For me, for Mom, for the truth. Twist 1. Emily found a gut punch. Stephen, Dad's brother, was secretly negotiating with a rival chain to sell Langford's client list. My mind flashed to Dad bailing Stephen out of debt decades ago, giving him a stake. He's betraying the man who saved him. It explained Dad's desperation. Stephen's disloyalty, plus the failing business, pushed him to attack me. I felt a flicker of pity, but it didn't soften the sting. Dad chose lies over me. Twist 2. Mom became my unexpected ally. I'd always seen her as quiet, overshadowed by Dad. But one night, she handed me a USB with Langford's financial records, remortgages, Stephen's shady deals. "I know your dad's wrong," she said, eyes fierce, "but this company is our life. Save it, for both of you." I hugged her, tears pricking. She's been fighting for us all along. Her strength reshaped my plan. This wasn't just about Dad. It was about her, too. Step 4. Silent moves. I met Harold Jenkins, securing an offer. Coastal Greenscape would buy Langford for $1.2 million, double its worth, keeping all employees and making Dad a regional manager with profit sharing. "Robert has to sign," Harold said. I nodded, mind racing. "I'll make him see it's his only choice." I texted Dad, "Business opportunity. Dinner tomorrow, 7 p.m. But I didn't show. Instead, I emailed Langford's key staff, promising job security in a merger. I tipped a Charleston Business Journal reporter about a tech-traditional partnership, saving jobs. My heart pounded as Dad's texts grew angrier. "You think you're better than me?" I didn't reply. My mind wrestled. Am I punishing him or saving him? I saw his truck photo in my head, his pride, his fear. This wasn't revenge. It was a lifeline for both of us. The stage was set and I was ready. 6. Climax. The adversary crumbles. 3,500 words. 3 days later, I walked into Dad's office, a folder in hand. My heart thumped, but my face was calm. Dad stood, face flushed. "You ditch me and strut in like you own the place?" I set the folder down, voice steady. "This isn't about owning anything. It's about saving Langford Landscaping." He opened the folder, eyes scanning Coastal Greenscape's offer. His jaw tightened. "You went behind my back? Selling my life's work." My mind screamed, "Your work's dying." But I kept cool. "I went ahead of you. You're $800,000 in debt. Stephen's selling your clients to rivals. This offer saves your legacy, keeps your people employed, and gives you a new role." He shook, voice rising. "Stephen's what?" I handed over Emily's emails, proof of Stephen's betrayal. Dad collapsed into his chair, hands clutching his head. "How'd you know?" My throat tightened. "Mom gave me the records. She wants to save this, and so do I." His eyes flicked to me, raw, vulnerable. For a second, I saw the man who taught me to drive, not the one who called me pathetic. But I pushed the feeling down. This wasn't the time. I placed the Ferrari keys on his desk. "This is for you. Not charity and advance. You have 48 hours to sign, or Coastal Greenscape buys a competitor, and Langford's gone." My inner voice wavered. Am I too harsh? But I saw Mom's face, the employees' families, and knew I had to be firm. I walked out, leaving him with the folder and keys. The next morning, Mom texted, "He drove the Ferrari today." Silent, but he drove. My heart leapt, he was cracking. 24 hours later, he called Harold Jenkins. They sealed the deal. Langford sold for $1.2 million. Dad as regional manager. Relief washed over me, but I wasn't done. I wanted him to see our worlds could coexist. I hosted Vertex Analytics launch at our new headquarters, 200 guests, staff, locals, press. Dad stood at the back, arms crossed out of place. I took the stage, my mind a storm. "This is for you too, Dad. We're launching Vertex Analytics to democratize financial tech. We're also investing $2 million in Coastal Greenscape, Langford's new parent company. And I'm proud to announce Robert Hayes will lead our tech initiative for traditional industries." Applause thundered. Dad's eyes met mine. Shock, reluctance, and a glimmer of something new. Respect. After he approached, "You planned this all along." Not a question. I nodded. "I planned to build something lasting. You're in it." I showed him the Charleston Business Journal article. "Tech firm saves 150 jobs with traditional partnership." He read, hands unsteady. "You didn't have to," he said softly. My voice caught. "I did. For family. For what you taught me." Inside, I felt the boy who craved his approval exhale. Not fully healed, but lighter. Dad hadn't apologized, but his presence here, his signature on that deal, was a start. My mind whispered, "We're not done, but we're closer." 7. Resolution. Rebuilding life. 1,900 words. 6 months later, I sat in my Vertex Analytics office, the Cooper River sparkling outside. My company was booming, creating 150 Charleston jobs. I'd swapped the Ferrari for a black sedan. No need to prove myself anymore. My inner voice, once a critic, now hummed with purpose. "You built this." And more. Dad and I weren't close, but we'd carved out something new. Weekly lunches were our ritual, discussing the traditional industries program. He brought in plumbers, electricians, carpenters, men like him, struggling in a digital world. "They need tools, not pity," he said. I listened, his experience shaping Vertex's new software for small businesses. My mind marveled. We're building together, in our own way. Mom quit teaching, traveling Europe, her dream finally real. "Your dad cooked pasta in Italy," she laughed over the phone. Daniel joined as marketing director, Lucas thrived as COO. I hired 30 local grads, making Charleston a place where ambition could stay. My heart swelled. This is bigger than me. One day, an email from Dad arrived. Short, unguarded. "Thanks for saving my company. I was wrong about you." I read it a dozen times, tears blurring the screen. The boy inside me who'd chased his approval finally rested. I hung a photo in my office, Dad with his first truck, me with Vertex's headquarters. 2 builders, 2 eras now linked. Success wasn't proving Dad wrong. It was creating a future where his past had a place. My mind reflected. I thought I wanted revenge, but I wanted redemption. For both of us. The best victory wasn't tearing him down, but building something we could share. Final message. The greatest triumph isn't defeating those who hurt you. It's creating a world where they can stand beside you, whole again.